Good morning. It's February 27th, 6 a.m. Well, almost 6:10 a.m. And I am gonna have half an hour of writing before I have to get my day started. I am working today. I need to take my child to some extracurricular activities afterwards. And then after that at night, I have a writer's group. So it's gonna be a pretty busy day. But I do want to write a little bit. Yesterday, I did not write because I was recording the protagonist video essay, which you can watch up here somewhere. But today I'm going back into that scene that I've started a couple of days ago, and it's a flashback scene and it's pretty fun. I did not plan it. It came to me as an inspiration in the process of writing, and those are usually the best ones. Ideally, within the next 2 months, I would finish the draft because we're going to be moving. And so I thought, the moving time when I will have to focus on settling down in the new house and stuff, I would like to have the draft complete by then. And after all the moving busyness, I can go back and start revising. So hopefully March and April are going to be enough for me to finish this draft. We'll have to see.
We watch the sun go down over the same old town, like so many times before. We look at the same old stars, battle the same old wars, like so many times before. And I know that we're not perfect, but I'm gonna miss all that we had. Yeah, I know that we're not perfect, but I need this night for the last time. Stay.
Another early morning, 6 a.m. on a Friday, February 28th, the last day of February actually. So I'm tired, but I wanted to wake up early again to work on my book before I have to go to work. I don't have anything serious planned for Saturday. On Sunday, we're gonna go see Legacy on Ice, which is a show dedicated to the victims of the airplane crash at Reagan National Airport that just happened within the past 2 months. It's a sad reason for why the show is going to happen, but it's going to be probably an amazing show because so many famous figure skaters are showing up to show their support for the families and for everybody who was involved. And so I've never seen a live skating event in my life, and this one that I'm gonna see is probably gonna be incredible, but also very sad. So I don't know how I feel about it. I have mixed feelings about it, but I am glad I am participating because the proceedings from the tickets go to the families and to different charities that help everybody, including the firefighters and everybody who were involved in the search. So that's the plan for Sunday. And then next week, it's March. It's crazy. And also next week, it's gonna be an 10-year anniversary of my wedding day with my husband. So that's a big one too, but we'll talk about it when we get there. Also, I forgot to tell you, yesterday was my writers group, last night, and it was very, very fun and interesting. So there are 3 of us there currently, and we met for 2 hours at night, and we talked about, and we critiqued everybody's submissions that month. And one of the writers has finished submitting the entire novel, so we read his last couple of chapters, and yeah, it's so cool to read through somebody's work, like beginning to end, and to really have those deep conversations about the motivations and the execution and everything. It reminds me a little bit of how it felt when I was in school learning about literature, or writing, or in college. We talked about different plot devices and stuff like that. And I really miss that feeling where you can just sit and talk about writing for a long time. Because in book clubs, I'm doing book clubs at the library, it's not quite the same level of discussion, I feel like, because, book club people well, first of all, not all of them finished the book because they don't like the book. They didn't even read it, right? They just came to hang out and talk. But even those who do finish, they do not necessarily have any writing background. They do not necessarily think of a story in terms of creating a story. And so the conversation would be a different level. It would be an interesting conversation, but it would be more on a like how people can relate to the book or not, and their own personal experiences, stuff like that. But with the writers group, it's conversation specifically about writing. How do you execute that? And so it's very fun. And also yesterday, I don't know if I said this here before, but my formal education, my bachelor's and master's degree is in linguistics. One of my co-workers has linguistic background. And so I was looking at one of the writer's works, and I've noticed he's using this device a lot, like this specific type of figurative language. And I wanted to comment on that, and like, I've noticed you love to use this particular device, and I actually am a big fan too. And I just could not remember the term, because I remember there was a specific term for this type of phrase, for this type of device. There was a linguistic term that I completely forgot. I could not remember that, so I asked my coworker, knowing that he studied linguistics. I'm like, okay, so what is the name of the device when somebody writes, she was knitting her eyebrows and a sweater? And he was like, oh man, now I'm gonna think about that all day long because I can't remember either. So neither of us could remember. And so I went on Reddit and I went on Ask Linguists, which is funny because I'm a linguist and I forgot everything about it. But I guess like I'm not a linguist because that's not my job right now, but I have background in linguistics, I guess you could say. And so I went there and I was like, help, I cannot remember the name of the device. What do you call that? And somebody responded, Zeugma. And I'm like, oh, thank God, thank God. So yes, it's Zeugma. I'm gonna put the definition here. And so I told my writer, like, I noticed you like to use, well, I told him the story. I wasn't like, oh, I know all those fancy terms, because I told him I forgot what it was, but I told him that I researched it and it's Zeugma. And I noticed he was very fond of it. And he was like, I thought I created that. So he was just writing intuitively in this way. He probably encountered that before when he was reading, and so he probably just internalized that. He did not realize this was an actual device that people know about, that has a name. He thought he just wrote like this. So that was a fun moment.
No, you're gone in the morning, but I'll be okay if you stay. Stay. No, you're gone in the morning, but I'll be okay if you stay. If you stay. No, you're gone in the morning, but I'll be okay. We were never meant to last, but all the fun times we had, I'll never forget.
It's a rainy and sleepy day, perfect for writing, but also perfect for reading and sleeping. But I've been doing really well today with my writing. I have heard about this channel called Troublemakers, where they're doing writing sprints every Wednesday. And I haven't done formal writing sprints with other people before, so this was my first time. I did 2 out of their 3 sprints. On the 3rd sprint, my cat blocked my laptop. So, as a true cat mom, I knew the rule, I knew the law that you cannot disturb a sleeping cat. So during that last one, I just did a short with my phone. I didn't write anything, and now they're done for the day. So they had 3 sprints and some breaks chatting in between. I feel like I still have some writing in me today, so I'm gonna go on and do that, and then after that I will tell you about that show that I went to see on Sunday. Ended up writing 670 words or so, which is fine. I only did 2 sprints and a half, I would say, for today, and that's pretty good. They were not long, so it's encouraging to know that if I do the sprint approach, I can do a pretty decent number of words in a day. So I'm looking forward to next Wednesday when I will continue doing the sprints with troublemakers. But the other days, I'll just try to do my own thing in the morning. Gonna need my emotional support cats for this part because I wanted to tell you about that Legacy on Ice show that I went to on Sunday. So it was tough. I kind of anticipated it being tough, but I didn't realize I would be crying basically for 2 hours straight. It was really, really difficult. The fact that Maxim lost his both parents, who were also famous coaches and figure skaters, that Isabella lost her brother and a father. So these two numbers were really, really difficult to watch. And they just broke everybody. You know, in the arena, everybody was crying, everybody was having a standing ovation. But overall, it was just such a beautiful show. If there's something positive you can see in this situation, it's that. It's the community coming together. The arena was almost sold out. There were so many people. They raised over $1 million, I think, 1,200,000 or something like that, for the families and for. There was also, at least, there were several first responders. I did not quite catch if all of them were on the scene, but at least one of them was on the scene for sure. And there were numbers dedicated to them, and you know, flowers and stuff. And I remember the face of one of them, and it's a tough grown man with his face contorted and crying because of both the pain of what he has seen, right, when he was on the scene, and of this appreciation of how all of these people in the arena were cheering and thanking him for the work he's done. And, you know, even though it must be one of the most difficult jobs, you know, to be a first responder, it didn't quite click in my head that how much pain they go through and how mentally disturbing like this job must be. But seeing his face, like I could really feel it, and it felt as raw as what the figure skaters who lost their family felt like, judging by his facial expression. So all of these were very raw, very honest moments, and there was so much pain but also so much love. And Maxim skated, he used his parents' favorite song, which is a Russian song, which is famous in Russia. You know, I know the song, everybody knows the song. There was a famous show about St. Petersburg where this song was like the title song, and his parents were from St. Petersburg, and they loved the song, and he said they would always slow dance to it when they heard it. So it was just very sweet, but also full of pain. It's still very raw. It's been less than 2 months, right? So I was just impressed, and everybody was just so impressed by the courage of those skaters, especially those who were like directly affected, to just get up and get out of there and do this number. And they only broke down in the very end. So it was just a beautiful experience, but also one I hope I never have to see again.